Well, developing now, the U.S. House passing a bill today to ban TikTok in the U.S. if its Chinese owner ByteDance doesn't sell. The bill passed by a vote of 352 to 65, still facing an uncertain path, though, in the Senate. If passed, it would lead to a nationwide ban of the app. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, would have 5 months to sell the platform if the bill is put into place. If the company refuses, the bill would prohibit TikTok from being available for download in app stores. President Joe Biden says he would sign it into law if it makes it to his desk.
Happening now after another long break, testimony in the YSL RICO trial picked up back in the courtroom. Atlanta rapper Young Thug is accused of co-founding the Young Slime Life criminal street gang. Defense attorneys say YSL stands for Young Stoner Life record label. So far, prosecutors have had a hard time getting witnesses to recount crimes with potential ties to YSL. Some of the crimes date back more than a decade.
Well, more details after a judge dismissed some of the charges in Georgia against former President Donald Trump. As
our sister station in Atlanta reports, this impacts Trump and several of his co-defendants in the election interference case.
In a court order, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee wrote that 6 of the many counts in the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants must be quashed. 3 of the charges being dismissed are against Trump himself. The charges in question involve alleged efforts by the defendants to solicit elected officials to violate their oaths of office, including 2 charges related to the post-2020 election phone call Trump made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. In his order, McAfee writes that prosecutors erred in the wording of parts of the indictment, noting in part, as written, these 6 counts contain all of the essential elements of the crime, but fail to allege sufficient detail regarding the nature of their commission, i.e. the underlying felony solicited.
A worker in Georgia has died after dropping her AirPods and getting caught under a conveyor belt while at work. Police in Columbia County say the incident happened this past Friday at a golf cart business called Club Car. It's in Evans, that's near Augusta. A witness says 21-year-old contract worker Alyssa Drinkard was snagged by a chain when she tried to retrieve her AirPods from under a conveyor. Drinkard was taken by ambulance to a hospital where she later died, according to Club Car officials. The company says it's working now with investigators as they look into this fatal accident.
In Wisconsin, a driver's life was saved with the help of a certain device. In fact, a first responder tells us more on what 911 dispatch was alerted to.
While one device brings good deeds, another may be in the way of business ventures. Airbnb hosts have until the end of April to get rid of any indoor cameras. The rental app says it's to protect renters' privacy. Cameras used to be allowed in common areas like hallways and living rooms. However, the new rule does not allow them at all. This all comes after numerous reports of renters finding hidden cameras. The new policy still allows outside cameras as long as guests know about them before they book.
Next on the news, Navy Week has kicked off in Savannah. When we return, we're going to take a look at how the Navy band brought in the celebration this morning. Developing now, the Biden-Harris administration says they're focused on investments for the future of traveling. Some even emphasized on the importance of not only running airports, but expanding them as well.
Biden-Harris administration is building too.
There may be high prices creeping in for airline passengers. Experts say passengers are spending more money to check their baggage. Starting at the end of the month, United Airlines will charge passengers $80 to check one bag for a round-trip flight. Just last week, American Airlines increased its luggage fees by $5. JetBlue and Alaska Airlines also have announced fee increases this year. Southwest does not charge for checking bags, and Delta does charge but has not increased its price since 2018. Baggage fees are big business for the airlines. The Transportation Department says baggage fees generated nearly $7 billion for the airlines in 2022.
Another aircraft deal may be in the works as Boeing is in talks to buy one of its major suppliers. Spirit was a part of Boeing until the manufacturer spun it off in 2005. Even now, Boeing is Spirit's largest customer, accounting for nearly 2/3 of its revenue. However, quality control issues at Spirit have hurt Boeing. Spirit makes the fuselage of the 737 MAX. An initial report from the National Transportation Safety Board found that the jet involved in January's Alaska Airlines door plug blowout left Boeing's factory with 4 bolts missing. They were recovered because the fuselage sent by Spirit came to the Boeing factory with problems. Well, coming up on D-News at 5, a wild celebration is making its return to Claxton. Stick around to hear more on how you can attend this year's Wildlife Festival.
Plus, the Supreme Court ruling shaking up the state of campaign 2024. WTOC has more on the legal implications of their decision on Colorado's ballot.